Mr. Yoshi P? Sir? How did you get in my room? How did you get inside of an anime? Why are you doing this? And then he was like,
What the heck?
Honey, just let it happen.
Bart in Final Fantasy XIV is complicated, but why?
Huh? What are you looking at, kid? What? Just because I'm wearing this, you think I'm gonna sing you a silly little song? I'm retired, bucko. I'm here to get wasted,
Oh, really?
not to make you Dance Dance Revolution. Oh, is that 2K Gil? These are hard times, kid. My in-room shenanigans have left me with no choice. Fine, fine. Let me tell you a tale from my youth. There once was a demon went to see if she would like FF14. An archer picked the story goes, men her DPS really blowed. Soon did she drop this main and learn to love herself again. One day when the job makes sense, she'll pick back up the bow. Oh, you're still here. Man, I thought the...
Was that just the past of all the nerfs and stuff that happened to Bart and all the changes? What the heck? That was a good song, actually. You know, it's like interesting. Like the main reason why I at one point also want to level up Bart is I want to be able to join the bands in Gridania and just play there as well at the Etherite Plaza. It's crazy. Like I always see like some really good bands there. And like it's crazy how well you can actually cover even songs with the Bart. Like it's crazy. I heard some really famous songs covered by Barts before, and it's insane. I'm like wondering if they're learning this by themselves or if they're actually using add-ons or something for that.
The cringe would scare you away, but you're pretty tough, aren't ya? I realize that's a sea shanty, not exactly on brand, but hey, bards are the type of people who will go ham on the harp while the ship goes down. Not to comfort other people, just to flex their ability to play in stressful situations. While we were screaming in terror, the bards were doing the caramel dancing. We are no match for their power. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Lucy, Bard isn't even that bad. Why did you waste a video on this? And the other 50% of you are thinking, Lucy, you're finally talking about how terrible Bard is. Nice. And because of that split, this video was not titled Suffering, because being a Bard is a lot like being in a semi-abusive 7th grade relationship. The good times are so good, you feel on top of the world. You feel cool, the same way you did when you first snorted a Smartie at recess. And the bad times make you want to commit unalive by slicing your tongue off with a bowstring. And in commemoration of their pain, I will chronicle their confusing history for all.
Like they have such nice bows. Like it's crazy. Like they have such cool bows, and the bows sometimes are bigger than the character mod. Like it looks just so OP. Like I remember entering a dungeon once with a Bard, and this Bard had like this glowing glowing bow. And the bow was like so huge, and I was like looking at this guy. I'm like, am I playing with a bow or what race is this? It was also a Mikote. It was a Mikote Bard, and I thought like, what the heck is going on here? It looked so flashy. It looked so cool. It made me consider to also grind up a Bard, because I think they have such nice weapons, like really. And yeah, by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content.
I will chronicle their confusing history for all to see. Seriously, mating Bard is such a strong act of masochism, it should be considered a form of public ERP and a bannable offense.
With interesting glamour too.
That's a joke. Yoshi P, do not at me. Welcome, traveler. How's it going? What's that? You think I should tune my harp? I'm gonna level with you, my guy. I have no idea how to use this thing, much less tune it. Is that something you do?
How many instruments do you have actually on Bard?
For a living? Huh? What do I do? Now that you mention it, I really don't know. All the way back in A Realm Reborn, I think I knew who I was. I knew I was a hot take. I knew not everyone would agree with my direction, but I was confident. I would be the weirdest version of Bard that gamers had ever seen, and I would make it look
I remember
good.
now
But in
something.
Heavensward, I began to doubt. I saw Summoner and Black Mage, and they were so cool. Maybe I should be more like them, I thought. I tried to do that, but that's just not me. So
Wasn't like the darkest age for the Bard when Dancer came out, because they removed some skills that actually buffed the group or like reworked them and nerfed them basically. Because I've heard like I read in forums that people were actually upset when like Dancer came out, right? Like people said, don't change this on the Bard, and some people didn't like the changes, right? So didn't they make Bard more of a DPS than of a support? And before Bard was like way more support or something, if I read correct. Like, it was crazy. Some people were like really upset about the changes.
Stormblood came, and I wanted to embrace the things that really made me who I am, but different, with a little more spice this time around. So I turned my songs into my rotation, which meant I was living my best class fantasy life with constant songs playing. And
That's
I
nice.
still had access to refresh for support. I felt whole. I felt like myself again. But just when things were looking up, Shadowbringers happened. And I was cast down from heaven by the anime protagonist transfer student. Dancer. I got mugged.
Yeah, I told you.
Robbed of every penny I was worth by some ditz in red. I've lost so many players. It feels like no one loves me anymore. I used to be so popular,
I've read
so
that.
simple, so beloved by new and veteran players alike. I just don't know what happened. And the changes coming in Endwalker, I'm not sure if it's enough. I ask myself, what is it that the devs want from me? What's their goal? And no one talks about this, but
I think they have a hard time to actually put the bot into a certain specific role, because you are an archer, but you're also a musician. So I know this sounds weird right now, but how can you play music while shooting with a bow, right? So you have to somehow like mix this all up. And they do have some cool animations, and it's kind of like you're singing while shooting with your freaking bow and stuff. But I feel like it's really tough to actually not only like balance this, because you do want to give them some DPS, but you also want to offer them some sort of support and make their songs useful for the group. And they are not bad. I'm not saying it's like bad, the support that they still give, but I feel like they're having a hard time balancing this one, because it just has like multiple aspects and stuff. And you have a little bit that this job offers, a little bit that this one offers. Like, they had such issues with Astrologian as well. I remember like when Sage came out and everything, like they didn't know what should we do with Astrologian. Hey, let's rework one skill so it no longer can shield the player and this and that. Yeah, I feel like the more jobs come, the more like older jobs also suffer, because you have to remove something to make the new job more unique or something, right? Like, how to make Sage more unique? Let's change something on the Astrologian so there's not so much similarity. The only thing that is like a little bit still similar is Scholar then, but that's fine because they have a pet and Sages don't or something. Like, I wonder how they actually balance those jobs, because I feel like they always look at uniqueness. They want everything to be super unique, but sometimes there are some jobs that have some similarities, and instead of giving them something super new cool, they're just gonna give them like something that people not like too much and remove something that people liked. Yeah, that's like dangerous. That's why it's like dangerous to balance some jobs, and Bart is one of them, because if you remove one thing, it could ruin the whole job in a way.
why did they delete this beautiful, flashy, overdramatic, perfectly Bard aesthetic skill, but kept this animation for Quick Knock? What? Who made that decision? Who is responsible? I just want to talk. Huh? You only wanted to know my name. Oh, well, that's easy. My name is Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rue.
What the heck?
Welcome to Heavensward. We have dragons, we have anti-church plot lines, the favorite expansion of many, but definitely not the favorite of the bards and machinists in the audience, for one very understandable reason. Featuring one of the top contenders for worst job decisions made by the devs, we have the revolutionary idea to make the ranged DPS casters instead. Wonderful job, guys. I'm sure the people who mained Bard in 2.0 are ecstatic with this change.
They seem magical,
Let's take the
yeah.
class known for its mobility and versatility and make it a turret with
They have
no
such
auto
nice
attacks.
animations.
Genius. Well, as you can expect, it did not go over well. I was here for this cringe mechanic, so let me explain the gist of it to you. You know Wanderer's Minuet? It's cool enough now, but once upon a time, it was a skill that gave all of your GCDs cast bars in exchange for more damage, which, in the initial 3.0 patch, did not actually give you more damage, because they never accounted for the ridiculous amount of autos that Bard can get without having it on. Then they fixed it to do
Wow.
more damage than autos, which
Didn't know
was their
that.
way of digging their heels in the sand and demanding we just get used to it. It was bizarre. I felt like I was being gaslit, like I was telling the devs, I like Bard because it's simple, fast, and mobile. And they just slapped me in the face with 3 slices of moldy bologna and said, no you don't. In fact, I blame
No,
this
you don't.
entire decision from my current status as a healer main. I quit Bard and Heavensward specifically because of this change and started playing Scholar instead.
Scholar
which
is
only
fun.
put me down
I like
another
it.
path of suffering. You gotta think about the ripple effect here, guys. Who else was pushed into the thankless healer role by the legend of Bow Mage? How many of us suffer in silence? You think you have trust issues? No one has trust issues like bards who were there since 2.0. And if you have any bard friends, make sure to tell them thank you for your service. I could sing you a song about playing bard, but I'll spare your ears. Instead, take this dramatic poem reading. I have no quality of life. Instead, just a lifetime of strife. I long for the embrace of a knife. Love Bard, Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bard used to be
That was a
extremely
good one.
brain dead. Every so often, you would wake up to use your bloodletter proc and then go back to sleep until your next opportunity to refresh dice.
They have good
We've already
AoE.
complained about Heavensward, but Stormblood changes almost made up for it. Yo, this Bard was fun to me. You weren't just using songs for support. They were constant, and each song had its own unique effect, while still providing a small crit buff to the party at all times if you were playing at your best. It wasn't as easy to play anymore, but hey, the old playstyle was getting stale anyway. It did make a bad Bard even more obvious than before. Now if a Bard sucked, they really sucked. And in Shadowbringers, you no longer have that 2% crit buff to soften the blow. Actually, if you were with a bad enough Bard, it's not like you'd get that crit buff anyway. The best way I can describe Bard's playstyle is, it's a little weird. Kinda hard to understand the thought process that went behind it. Battle voice doesn't buff you, it only buffs your party, so I guess Bards hate the sound of their own voice?
But why they made it like that it only buffs the party, not yourself? Like, did they feel like they would be too OP? Because I thought there was just like a slight buff. Does it like do so much damage that if you give this to the bard itself, that the damage would be so OP that this would be like the best range job DPS wise or something? Okay, that's weird. Because I know usually from MMOs, if you have any AoE buff skill, it also buffs the player. So it's weird that they make it like that in Final Fantasy XIV, that if you do an AoE buff, that buffs like everyone in the group, that doesn't buff yourself. That is so strange. Because usually in MMOs, you always have this kind of effect. If you have a buff that's an AoE buff, and not where you have to target a person, that you get it yourself. So it's weird.
Finally, a relatable Final Fantasy XIV job. And as for those songs, they can be cool and all, but they have some rough quality of life issues. Ever played a job that gets so excited it creates too much of a good thing at one time? Welcome to Mage's Ballad, which procs Bloodletter way too much. They finally changed Bloodletter to have 2 charges like the player base was asking, so
Wow.
this would be less of a problem.
That's better.
Judging by this footage, it's still an absolute mess of lost DPS. I love this community.
Why?
We can't even fix our own issues. I, for one, appreciate the fact that we have a low collective IQ. Ever played a job that has a section of the rotation you just want to get out of as soon as possible from both a DPS and fun factor perspective? Hello, Army's Paeon. I have no idea if I pronounced that right. A song that increases your skill
I think
speed,
it's
but
Paeon.
caps out
Army's
at 4
Paeon.
notes, which makes it feel very, very bad compared to the other songs in your rotation. Ever played a job that's complete RNG as to whether your big damage skill is actually going to give you big damage or just okay?
Wait a moment. So those songs, they are like completely RNG. So it's like random what you can charge up or what? I've not played Bard before, so I don't know. But if this is like random, that sucks then. Because you can't like prepare yourselves for a certain burst window. Like Ninja, for example. Like Ninja is the best example. You have Trick Attack and you can time this with your group. You know, okay, there's like this phase in like a certain, let's say, boss mechanic where there's like a few seconds of peace where you can DPS and you don't need to judge so many mechanics. Then what can you do with the ninja in the group? You time the Trick Attack with exactly this moment, for example. Like, hey, here's less dodging, so let's use the Trick Attack 2-3 seconds later or something, right? Like, let's wait a few seconds. And then we're gonna use it because we're gonna be able to do big damage because there's no interruption of our freaking rotation. And then I will time it. But if this is like RNG with like the song on the bot, then you have sometimes like runs in a dungeon where you do like so much damage on a boss, right? And then sometimes you have those where you barely do any damage because you get the bad song to charge up. Okay, that really sucks.
damage. Hello, Wanderer's Minuet.
That sucks.
Why does it feel like Bloodletter procs 69 times during Mage's Ballad, but I sometimes struggle to get 3 of you in one freaking use? Ever wanted a skill that's useless in 99% of situations? Say no more. Still no AoE Bane, so enjoy spreading your dots over and over again to proc Brain of Death for another 2 years. With the summoner changes, Bard is pretty much the new dot class, but they refuse to acknowledge them as such. I'm low-key
They should buff their
convinced
dots
this is
then
just
a
the
bit.
job of RP fanatics. They're so committed to their own internal lore and headcanons that they refuse to embrace change.
Holy shit, so much
I admire their
damage.
dedication. But I wish they would just break up with their abusive ex already. It's not healthy, and we're all worried about you, my guy. You know what they say about siblings. The youngest gets everything they want, the middle gets halfway ignored, and the oldest is expected to survive by photosynthesis alone. Well, the ranged siblings are no exception. Make no mistake, the dev team is full of simps. Because when little Dancer came along, Yoshi P said to himself, "Sweetie, I'm gonna give you everything you want, everything you need. You will never want for anything, darling. Perish the thought. You are unique. Nothing that belongs to you can belong to anyone else." And then he ripped 90% of the support away from Bard and gave it to Dancer. But
Yeah.
better. Now in Shadowbringers, when Bard sings only for itself. Ah yes. When I think of Bard, I think of a selfish man who sings Stayin' Alive under his breath to make himself.
You know what's funny? I see a lot of people in Limsa, Lominsa, and also other locations that have like a bard that they have maxed out. But if they switch to another job that's maxed out, it has better gear and stuff. And why is that? Because I feel like a lot of people pick up bard not because they actively want to play this in dungeons, but they just want to be able to play freaking songs and just RP basically, right? Like be an artist and you RP this, that you are, oh, I'm an artist and I'm a traveling singer or whatever, a traveling bard. So yeah, like I see that why a lot of people are like grinding this up, but it's actually sad because it would be nice to see more people actually level this one up and max the gear because they enjoy the combat rotation and everything, right? That would be better. But it's still nice that you have something in this game where you can actually play music and perform on. So it's good that Bard has this.
Sing Stayin' Alive under his breath to make himself more powerful. That is true class fantasy S tier. Amazing work, guys. Hack it up. No one else can compete. I'm probably not the only person who loved Stormblood Bard and played it frequently, only to turn into someone who forgets the job exists in 5.0. And I'm not the only one who forgets. Say what you will about
Yeah, because those
class meta.
changes.
It's true that Bard is fine from a damage standpoint, but the numbers don't lie. If it weren't for the meme status Moncast, Bard would be the least.
What the heck? 841, Red Mage, of course pretty high. Machinist has to be a bit higher. Why? Because they don't have support skills, right? They are like a selfish DPS job, so you have to give them more DPS, otherwise it would be pointless to even play that one. But why is Bard so much lower than everyone, especially Dancer? That is so strange. Like, I don't get this here.
Popular job as of right now. Everyone can tell that the class is missing something, and I mean, yeah, it's missing its heart. I was excited for Dancer's release.
I think this
and
is so
yes,
cool.
self-exposed. Besides Samurai, it
Which
is
dungeon
my
is this?
DPS main. But that doesn't mean I wasn't salty that Daddy gave more attention to the new baby than he ever did to me. It feels like there are people who care about Dancer and Machinist on the dev team, but I'm not so sure about Bard. I think they get confused
Machinist
on
is
what they're gonna
fun.
do with it every single expansion, which is weird. Maybe that's just what they do with dot jobs. That's why Summoner kept changing every expansion, and now it actually is a Summoner.
Oh,
Maybe
the
Bard
teammate.
is next. You're the one who came up with the wacky half Bard, half Archer thing. Now commit, cowards. Figure it out. So, is Bard good? Yes. Is Bard bad? Also yes. Is it okay? Yes. No. Maybe? It
So
seems
it's
like the
pretty
Bard
average.
discourse is composed of two opposing groups, with people who used to play Bard on the left and people who currently main Bard on the right. The former mains think it's incomplete and scuffed, and the current mains will defend it to their dying breath. For example, I can only hope that this comment is sarcasm. The masochism displayed here almost makes me feel bad for leaving Scholar. Endwalker is giving us back the buff identity, kinda. The new skill seems a little bit odd. The balance kids are gonna have to do all the actual math, and I'll come back later to reap the benefits of that knowledge after contributing nothing at all to the forum. And honestly, if you don't like Bard now, 6.0 is unlikely to change your mind. They've decided the state of Monk is so dire that it's fine to put Bard players on the back burner. You just have to hope that these Monk changes work out, cause right now, it looks like it's just gonna get reworked every 2 years while Bard collects more and more dust. Awesome! Well, maybe 7.0, huh? Here's to another expansion of blue balling. And now I must make a confession, gamers. I think I'm personally responsible for the Endwalker delay. I was lying to myself. Told myself that I was just imagining the clear signals Square Enix was sending to me. But I can deny the truth no longer. I think Endwalker getting delayed was a message from Yoshi P that he wanted this video to happen.
Didn't they do it back in the day because of like Lost Ark and some other games and stuff? And they were like, we have to release it a bit later. And because like there was a lot of pressure because so many new people came in. Like the amount of sprouts in Final Fantasy XIV, like several months ago, like before Endwalker came out, it was insane. There were like so many new players. Like this game is experiencing an immense growth. Like it's crazy. So many new people.
Said, listen, the symbolism will be great. You two
That's a nice
know
room.
You're a hypocrite. They don't know that you used to be a here girl archer that turned into a Mikote after seeing the slash joy emote. But I do. I know everything about you, Lucy, and I won't rest until everyone else does too. And I said, Mr. Yoshi P, sir, how did you get in my room? How did you get inside of an anime? Why are you doing this? And then he was like,
What the heck?
honey, just let it happen. For legal reasons, that was just a nightmare, and I stand here before you a better woman because of it. In conclusion, we stand at the edge of a new expansion, but Bard only stands at the edge of a cliff, and they're so eager for attention, they're about to do a flip. Now back to ignoring these minstrels exist and getting hyped for Endwalker in 9 days for real this time. Boys, no more Sagi, no more Scholar Copium, only hype. And of course, it's Bard this time, so no rapping. I'll be singing you a sweet little song instead. Psych. Thought I wouldn't rap? Don't get yourself, brat. Excuse me for a snap, because I'm here to spit facts, no cap. I'm on a journey all the way back before I walk to the end, because I gotta close the gap. The parts are feeling trapped, not the EDM crap. The devs are giving scraps, leaving all the kids trapped. Each expansion is another mishap. God also say that's a rap. Yo, cut the track. Need you to throw these kids a bone, or the misfit monks won't be sitting alone. It's not too
The
late, you
misfit
can
monks.
still atone before the Bard shoot drive-by arrows in your home. Let me get Yoshi P on the phone.
Drive-by
He's the
arrows.
real MC. He understands my tone. No, I'm serious, mister. Better give a loan, or they'll tie you down to the ERP throne.
You know what would be so funny, guys? If actually Lucy Pyre and Yoshi P had an interview or something. I think that would be so interesting. Like seriously, hey, let me give this video a thumbs up. So yeah, like I don't know about the state now of Bard in Endwalker, but before Endwalker, like a lot of people, they didn't like how like Dancer is now the support ranged job that you have to play if you want to be ranged support, and Bard is kind of like close to Machinist in playstyle, right? Because you have like less support abilities, but at the same time you still have a few support abilities, but they're being completely overshadowed by the ones of Dancer. And I don't know, I personally, I like Bard because I think it's cool. You can play on an instrument on it, and I think the animations are really well done, and AoE feels great. Like it looks very impactful. Like I love this rain of arrows and stuff. It looks cool. You have like some nice explosions. I think it's interesting that you have dots, because I like dots in MMOs. I've been enjoying a lot also Affliction Warlock in World of Warcraft, because I really think dots are nice. Same with Feral Druid. So yeah, I don't mind dots in MMOs. I played in ESO also dot specs with bleeds and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, Bard, I wonder if they're ever gonna change Bard again. Because Bard, I feel like Bard is really missing something. Because like the identity is always like being moved. Like first it's more for support one, then it's like kind of like a caster one, then it's like support again, then it's like purely ranged DPS, sort of like Machinist. And I feel like they have like a hard time to pick and decide what is Bard's main identity. What do they want Bard to be? It's weird, right? But yeah, it was an interesting video, and I would definitely check out more Final Fantasy XIV videos in the days to come as well. So yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for more content. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I wish everyone a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time.